Well, good day, YouTube. We are live again. It's been a long time since we've done an actual live, a hangout live. Gonna try and hang out. I don't know if anyone's gonna show up. Guy just messaged me that he is out for dinner and may show up when he gets back. Other than that, I haven't heard from really anybody on whether or not they're going to give her a go or not. Hopefully, but if it doesn't happen, it just does not happen. It is the way of life, right? You may have it, you may not. It's all good. It don't bother me none. Just sending out the invites to the people that sometimes show interest, and yeah, we go from there. Has been a while since we've had Dave. It's been a while since we've had anyone. Again, I don't know if anyone's going to show up tonight or not. If they don't, I'll just go, I don't know, outside and do something. I do these because this is my out. This is my way of interacting with people. Still brand new to the province, and I'm in my 40s, so it's not like you make friends that go, hey, let's go do things. So the way I stay in touch with people is, well, this is what I do to stay in touch. And I would send the invite out to more of my friends, but I send it out to the guys that may be interested in joining and chatting about bullshit. Like I could send it to the Dave from Cayman Kettle. That man's busy. I could send it to my buddy Jeff, one of my good buddies, but again, he has a life that is outside of this realm. So I don't talk to those guys often, and it gets sad because of that, right? Other than that, we got some beers over off to the side of me. I did buy today because I was running out of review beers. So I did go out and I picked up the 4 different Co-op Gold variants because there's Co-op Gold Lager, Co-op Gold Light, Co-op Gold Strong, and Co-op Gold Pilsner. I've been told that the Co-op Gold is the worst beer in Saskatchewan. So luckily I was able to get them in 6-packs and not the 2-4s they were also in. But I have to know. So I picked them up. I have a can of each for review. While I was there, I also picked up one of my favorite beers of all time, the Stiegl Radler. These are, Chris, what do these cost in Ontario? Because they're $4.50 a can here, and on top of that $4.50, you still have the 10 cents for you still have 10 cents for the deposit. So now we're at $4.60, and then you have taxes and liquor taxes on top of that. Because we always post our prices in our liquor stores, excluding deposit and excluding excise, liquor, and provincial sales. So sometimes it looks really okay on paper until you actually get a chance to try it. It smells really good in here too. My wife is making fettuccine Alfredo from scratch because she cooks from scratch. So thought we were going to save that for an interview with a rhino, but we can do it here. I purposely saved a can, the can we were talking about. When we were talking about this I don't know why I have these on. There's nobody here with me right now. The can we were talking about when me and you first started talking about this, which I saved it just for this. So it is the Silversmith Coconut Banana Split. And if you look at it, Yeah, there's an S, but this really reminds me of the type of label you would get from Brimstone. It really screamed Brimstone to me more so than Silversmith. The last time I bought a Silversmith beer, it was still when they were doing the all blue labels with the Silversmith standing on it, when they weren't leaning on the church-esque aspect. And I also have a 20 hazy years by them, which looks a lot like a Brimstone beer. And actually, even my wife, when we were at the liquor store looking, she saw it and she's like, when did Jason start shipping to Saskatchewan? And I'm like, I don't know. Then I picked it up and I went, fuck, it's Silversmith. And then I looked even closer and I'm like, fuck, it's Silversmith, but it's brewed in Etobicoke. This is before I even fully realized that Silversmith bought Black Oak and now has two breweries and do a lot of beers out of the Etobicoke brewery. And then I found out that one of my buddies works at the Etobicoke brewery. And then I found out that Ken still works for the Etobicoke brewery. And I'm like, oh, I love when people, get to keep their job after selling their company. It's always amazing to think that, hey, I can sell the company and still have a paying job. Sometimes you might actually make more that way because you make the pocket money and now you have a steady income and you don't have to worry about the money in, money out as much because you're getting paid. So, but yeah, like this to me is copying the style that Brimstone was known for, and there are other breweries that have done it. Then you have things like, well, again, how, like, it's not the exact same. It really isn't, but No Name Beer, Co-op Gold Lager, like, this is brewed under contract in Saskatoon. I'm not sure where that's being brewed, but if it's in Saskatoon, I'm going to guess Great Western is making it. Again, don't know for sure, but I mean, the cans are similar, and sitting on a shelf, there isn't much difference. One's a full silver bullet with some writing on it. The other one's a silver bullet with some wheat and some stripes. I mean, are we, like you said, at the point where we can't come up with anything? No alert again. Oh, see, Brian, do you have you should be in here with us, Brian. That's what you should be doing. You should be chatting with me. About 10 minutes, if that. $3.25 for the Stiegel in Ontario, and that is taxes in. You guys just have to pay your can deposit. So what, 330, 335, somewhere in there. I forget if the can deposit's 5 or 10 cents. So yeah, for 330 or 320, 330, 335, I would buy that all day, every day. But for 6-ish after all the taxes are added on, not as great, but I like it. And I was there and I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to cut back a little bit, but I want some beers. I have some beers in my fridge, but they're all 5-6% alcohol. I don't want that, so I'll splurge a little bit and buy 2 cans of this. So I did. I splurged a little bit and grabbed 2 cans of that. My wife did show me some pickles, though. She came into the fridge and said, "Chad, you want to buy some pickles?" And I was like, "Sure, I'd love to buy some pickles." And then she pointed out the price tag. So there is moonshine pickles. So it's pickles with moonshine. They are $43 a jar. Well, 44. It's $43.98. It's like, yeah, I don't need any pickles. You make me sad, Brian. You make me sad. Yeah. I'm curious if your usual vacation spot will be rebuilt by next year. Jasper has been basically demolished by forest fire, and it's really sad. We get a lot of the pictures here and everything, and it's been so smoky the last few days, and I feel for the entire community. It's a sad thing what's happened there, and yeah, they'll they'll rebuild, but how long is it going to take them to rebuild? And what's going to happen in the meantime, right? Okay, you know what? We're going to start. We're going to start with a Stiegel. I wasn't going to drink anything until somebody joined, but I don't think anyone's joining tonight. I might as well have a beer or two before I leave. It's still so good. $72 for a 24 pack of Coors. And we talked about this. I don't understand what was happening because Ontario used to have, and I don't know if they've just abolished it and that's what it is, but they used to have a law that you had to sell the alcohol for the same, no matter which venue it was being sold at, be it in the brewery, at the LCBO, at the beer store. So I don't know if things have changed since then, but I can get from the beer store a 24 pack of Coors for less than $72. So if my choice is get a 2-4 at the beer store for what, $57.99, or get it for $72 at the grocery store because of the convenience, why the fuck would I buy it at the grocery store? There's enough beer stores in Ontario. The only thing I could see is maybe if you live somewhere where there isn't a beer store or an LCBO, and your grocery store is the only one selling it. I'll look up Jasper Pizza when we're done. That is a good question as well, right? What size bottles are we talking? But I don't even think tall boys were ever that much. Like that's like buying stuff here. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking for on the beer store website for Coors Light. 30 cans of Coors Light, $55.95 at the beer store. $12 cans of Coors Light in 473s, so the tall boys, $30. The 30 cans that were 55 or the 355s. But even $30, that's $60, not 72. Why would I buy at the grocery store for 72? Bottles, 28 341 milliliter bottles, $45. So I mean, it's one of those. Why would you do it? Fine. Let's look up Jasper Pizza. Let's close all this shit. First thing that came up when I opened up was Native Pool Boy. Not going to watch Native Pool Boy today. Okay, Jasper Pizza. They're temporarily closed. They're in Jasper, Alberta. It looks like they may have had to take. Oh wait, here we go. Wildfire. Ooh, that looks like when I was in the north. Yeah, that looks like when I was up in the Arctic and we were having some wildfire problems. But that was just a little wildfire thing. I think it was like because their feed is basically this. It's all just their food. And that stuff is crazy. The fact that stuff gets so close is crazy. The fact that it's taking so many people trying to fight it and it's not going away is crazy. The fact that it's keeping it light at night is crazy. Now I haven't been excuse me, I haven't really been keeping up on it. Do we know if this was a dry season lightning fire or was it like somebody camping? Because a lot of these wildfires will be human error. There was wildfires in Ontario that were started by the military. They were doing artillery training, and it was too dry, and a spark started a fire. There was wildfires that were people camping. One of the wildfires that happened in the north when I was working for the Northwest Company was somebody lit some dry grass on fire to burn it away, and it spread and almost took out the whole reserve. And then there is natural causes as well. Lightning. Well, at least it was lightning. At least it was lightning. I'm actually surprised with how many places have been lost to fire that we haven't made like fire trenches around all the places that are prone to forest fire and everything else. Yeah, most of Saskatchewan's currently on a fire ban from how what's going on to the west of us, as well as how dry it's been here. We are not on a fire ban here in Regina, so I have occasionally had a little backyard fire. Almost done burning out the cedar and spruce tree that we cut down outside. I think I have a few branches left, and that's pretty good because I'm almost out of good wood for that mission. You also notice a lot of times when these fires start, and it is one of the reasons it happens as well. A fire will start, and the people that would be in charge of deciding whether or not we're putting it out, like that's not that much of a worry. It'll burn itself out. We'll be fine. And then another fire will start, and then another fire will start, and so I'm. It's weird. And then you have to question as well, right? Because there's so many people that talk about what's different now than in the past. I had a lady at work talking to me. She's like, did we just never have this stuff reported? Did we not live far enough north that we realized it? Like, what has changed? And I'm like, well, maybe that it's getting hotter and drier. I don't. Ooh, I got a Facebook message. Is that somebody coming to join? Is that what it is? Oh no, it was Guy giving me an eggplant emoji. which really worries me. Like, why are you sending me an eggplant? What are you trying to tell me? Why are you sending me an eggplant? That's what I send my wife. Or she sends me when she's like, I want this for dinner. Okay. So I guess we'll try, as we're talking, the Brewed in the Prairies Co-op Gold Lager. So this is, we have Sherwood Co-ops here. A whole bunch of them around. It's basically, well, a cooperative grocery chain. And I mean, cooperative grocery chains are supposed to be more not for profit. If you are a member, you are a board member. You can get money back at the end of the year for your dividends and everything else. They have them in the north. You have the FCNQ in Nunavik. You have the Arctic Co-op in Nunavut. But here we have our co-op. Our co-op makes its own beer. Thank you. And that's what I'm kind of looking at here. And
I said upstairs now.
Otis is getting yelled at. She made homemade garlic sticks with cheese stuffed in. She wonders why I'm fat. I like food and you're an amazing cook. Okay, I think the complaints I've heard of this being the worst beer ever are over-exaggerated. Yeah, I think it was over-exaggerated. It's not bad. Like, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't kick my wife out of bed and buy more of it. But I mean, you're looking at a $13 six pack. Now you're looking at a $13.60 six pack. Then you're adding about another $1.50 in liquor and provincial taxes. It's not horrible for what it is and for where it's from, but I mean, it's not great. Yeah, I'm sunburnt. I'm always sunburnt. It's a problem, especially now that I live in the prairies where the sun's always there. Now, I am going to have to ask him, was it the blue, red, green, or gold? Co-op Gold that was the worst beer that they've ever had. No one in the family will touch it. Because I've drank some of the beer that's popular here in the prairies, and this isn't much different. I won't have a nice base. It's a burn. I don't tan. I'm albino. There's no tanning. There's no darker complexion because the melatonin in my skin or anything went darker. I have no pigment. I burn. That's all I do. I just burn. And then I blister and pucker. It's fun. I mean, it's tinny. It's a little abrasive on the back of the palate, but it's not. I'm disappointed. I was hoping this would be disgusting. And Paul, why aren't you in here with me? How was Simon anyway? I haven't talked to Simon in a little bit now. Last time I talked to him, his wife had just gotten out of the hospital. And she was there for several months, actually. Okay, so like I said, the last I talked to him, she got out of the hospital. So I guess either she's never really healed or it's progressively gotten worse. And Vanessa was an amazing woman and a very strong woman. There's maple syrup in that too. What the fuck has she done? Paul would probably drink a box of rice. Paul, join us. Talk to us about your trip. I'd love to hear about meeting Rod. I actually cannot believe of all the places Shane could have taken you, you guys ended up at Taps. I hear that he kept you away from Niagara Brewing, which is a good one. Because Niagara Brewing is not a good place to go. How many of you went up from the States? What was like, I know one flight down was there. I know what the fuck happened. Paul, maybe you can tell me. And this is one of the reasons I wish you were in here. What happened with Beer for Breakfast, Facts for Snacks, Brew Watts there, and Shane and what was the other guy's name? Chris? Brian, the beer snob. What happened between them? Because I do have Andrew Brew Watts there on my Facebook, and I just got I'm so glad I got those fuckers out of my life type of thing, and I don't know what happened. What happened? I don't want to ask Andrew. Not that I just want to know from like a third party. I don't ever talk to Shane or Brian, so I would never get their side of the story. I would never. What did Andrew go? Did Brew go? Because I know he was intending to go. He was really, really excited about it. He talked to me and Chris and everything about it for a long time. But did he end up going? What happened? Because again, I could ask him, but I think I almost want the outside eyes opinion. The outside eyes, yeah. Oh, did everybody leave again? I'm trying to get Guy to tell me why an eggplant. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I can't see. I don't know. I could never see Andrew really getting mad at people. So to see that was weird to me. There's 6 of you watching right now. Come on, there's nobody else in the chat with me, so you guys have to help keep this going. What's going on? What's new? What's exciting? This is a horrible hangout, by the way. Oh, actually, it isn't. I'm hanging out. I have are these boxers or no? They're boxer briefs, maybe. Very small inseam if they're. Yeah, they're boxer briefs. So I'm just sitting here in my boxer briefs and my flamingo shirt. And my socks because I'm a weirdo. Sounds like my recording cell phone is dying. I heard a beep beep. That wasn't this guy, right? This guy's fully charged, correct? I guess the only way to really tell with this one is to do this. Yeah, okay. She's fully charged. Yeah. No, I haven't had a plantain chip. Well, first and foremost, thank you very much, Matt. Second of all, who's even I wouldn't even know any of the fighters, but who's fighting tonight? And I hope you and the boys enjoy yourself. Projector is a nice way to do it. I should go out and buy a projector again, and then I can start projecting things onto the wall of the garage and shit. And I'm sure the kids would love it. But thank you very much. Other than the fact that I am sunburnt to fuck, my new job is going really well. The kids' visit was really good. Miss them, wish they were here more. The week without my son was divine. My wife and I really needed it. When you lived in the Arctic with an autistic boy for several years, and then you move to a new province with the said autistic boy, and the only break you've ever gotten without him is the 1 week he visits his mom, and every time you've done that, you've been not at your home because you're at a trailer or in a hotel or this and that, just waiting stuff out, you don't really get a break or a rest and everything like that. So we really needed this break after 4 years. It was required, and it really did help. Uh, it helped both me and Alicia. It helped Aiden. It helped all of us to have that break for that week. And he actually had to fly home with his brother and sister, and then he had to fly back here by himself. And we had the week to really enjoy each other because Harlow was gone. It was just me, her, and the dogs. Yeah, we had to work, but we would come home every night and be like, hey, we can do whatever we want. Let's walk the dogs. Let's have a campfire. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's go out for dinner. Let's go to the movies. Let's just wander the town and see what we can find. I mean, we didn't have the money for dates, but we went on dates because we needed to. And we didn't have that because it cost. I had to pay for the unaccompanied minor, and I had to pay the flight and everything else. I actually giggled and said, I should tell my ex-wife it's going to cost $400 to get him home, and she better pay her $400 because she used to. The last time we went to court, she and her lawyer were fighting that it's the access parent's job to pay for the transportation and everything else. And I'm like, okay, well, this is your visit. You're the access parent. So if I've paid one way of his trip, you have to pay the other. If you're the access parent, that's what you've said. That's what you argued in court. But I'm not that petty, but I really, really wanted to. And I was like, yeah. And of course, the only company that would take him without somebody because of his special needs and all that was WestJet. And then they were having their strike and everything else. And I'm like, oh, this will be fun. And then they only fly from Toronto to Regina late at night. So the flight leaves at like 9 p.m. there, and it's a 3-hour flight. But by the time they land, it's 11:22 here because we were 2 hours behind. And they kept pushing the flight back, and I was giggling because they pushed the flight back, and then they told my ex-wife that, unaccompanied minors can't be on the plane after midnight. So if the plane gets pushed back again, he won't be able to come. And she's like, well, what do I do then? And I'm like, well, you'll have to go home and come back. The plane will leave at this time tomorrow. And she goes, well, what if the plane gets pushed back again until like midnight? Well, then you won't be able to go. But yeah. Now, I don't know if Matt's still here, but who makes No Name beer in New Brunswick for you guys? Because I did hear that Nick really did not like the No Name beer warm in his Teku or champagne glass. I haven't watched the video yet. I'm going to go watch it. Mine is Big Rock, and it tastes like it's made by Big Rock. Much better cold than warm, but it tastes like it's made by Big Rock. I just don't know who makes it there. I know when it was being made in Ontario, it was who the fuck was making it in Ontario? It was I think maybe Cool maybe. I know Barley Days had the Buck of beer, the Loon Looney Lager or whatever. But I think No Name beer was being made by Cool, but I can't remember anymore. I'd have to go watch my video again just to find out who was making it back then. The brick would have been Brick would be a great thought, and it could be them, yeah. It really could have been. I don't know. So come on, guys, talk. There's 6 of you. Talk. Chat. Say hi. Tell me your favorite beer. Tell me your favorite brewery. Tell me your least favorite beer. Tell me why. Tell me things you'd like to see on the channel. Tell me things you wish I would do. Tell me all that stuff. Okay, so it was the Ontario one. So if the Brick makes it like Chris thinks, the Brick was never an amazing brewery to begin with. And after their purchase by the Chinese venture capitalists, it's really not been an amazing brewery. So if it was from the Brick, I could possibly see a disdain for it. President's Choice actually made some really good beers. I was a fan of President's Choice Light. I was the fan of the President's Choice Cerveza. The Cerveza was one of the ones I always kept around the house. The one I could not stand was the Honey Brown. But I've never really liked Honey Browns. I don't know why. I've never really liked Honey Browns. Their low carb was another one I was actually fond of. That's okay, Brian. What I was saying was tell me your favorite beer. Tell me your least favorite beer. Tell me your favorite brewery. Tell me things you'd like to see on the channel. Tell me anything. Let's chat. It's just me and you guys, apparently. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. There is a chance that maybe we'll do an interview with a Rhino next weekend. I'm off next Saturday, but I don't know for sure. My wife has suggested she'd like to go to her first Rough Riders game. So we'll see. She wants me to buy her a jersey if we go, though, and those things are like $170. And next week is not a pay week, so it might not happen. However, I was surprised at how cheap the games are. I mean, best seats in the house are like $55. What's considered the worst seats in the house are like $25. I'm like, that's very reasonable. And the stadium holds like 30,000 people. 40,000 actually. 44,000 is max capacity. This city has 250,000 people. So if 44,000 people are there, you have so many people in that building. They don't have the dill pickle beer anymore. I wanted to try the dill pickle beer. And all the Minhas beers are the same. It's fucking shit. I can send you a bunch of Minhas beers. You can review them. I'll send you a Minhas Espresso Stout. I'll send you a Minhas Raspberry beer. I'm sure I have other Minhas beers in there. I wonder. Minhas has a brewery in Saskatoon. I wonder if the co-op beers are made by Minhas. I guessed Great Western, but now thinking about it, Great Western does so many different beer styles, and they're big all over Saskatchewan. I don't think they would have empty tank space, empty. Well, the ability to just make a beer for a company that's going to be sent all over the province as well, and sold in various styles and sizes, because you can get a 12, a 24, a 6, 4 different styles. So you're looking at 4 different vessels. I wonder if they're a Minhas product. I'm going to have to do some super sleuthing before I do the reviews on those beers. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for that. Because I would have just done the review and been like, it's brewed by Minhas. Not Minhas, sorry. Brewed. I'm sure it's brewed at Great Western. And now, if I'm ever near the Minhas Brewery, I'll go in and take a picture for you. What's Blackburn up to now? Are they doing anything interesting? They have to be contract brewing too, because they can't be going to capacity with their solid but boring beer styles. That can't be enough to go to capacity. They can't be selling enough of it for hitting capacity. No, I thought that was one of your stops after work sometimes, you and the guys. How is the midnight shift going? Anyone I know still on it other than you and Raj? Sorry, I just want to take a spoonful of my pasta. Oh, she even sprinkled peppers on it. Oh, I love my wife. This is the first time, too, she made homemade noodles. And they're actually really good. I know they still leave a foul taste in some people's mouth because of what happened with John, but I really do like the Forefathers Brewing venue. Hey, that's fine. Like I said, after going to the doctor myself, that's why we're doing our hikes and everything now. We're both trying to make some changes, get some new habits. My liver enzyme score doesn't worry me nearly as much as it worries my wife, and the reason it doesn't worry me nearly as much is I'm an idiot, and I forgot I was having a blood test in the morning. We kind of talked about this last night, and I had 10 beers doing one of these the night before my blood test. So my liver enzymes being up didn't worry me as much when she told me, because I'm like, yeah, I had 10 beers the night before my test. She's like, are you an idiot? I go, kind of. I mean, I'm kind of an idiot. I lost track of time. But the numbers you were saying you had, yeah, that would worry me. That really would. Does it? What's it relabeled to? Is it like Niagara Lager or something? Where the hell were you that you had $14,000 in damage from a hailstorm? Wasn't the hailstorm that happened here in Saskatchewan just a little while ago, was it? And $14,000, that's almost a new car for a lot of cars nowadays. Wow. Fallsview Power Play. Okay. Wow. I can just say wow to that number. Like, wow. We got lucky. We got really lucky. Nothing happened to the house. Nothing happened to the garage. Nothing happened to the car. We were very, very lucky. Glad you got to pick it, man. They would have completely avoided me if I was still there. They would have been like, yeah, we got a guy that's in the beer world. We're not going to ask him. Fuck him. Because they were still mad at me about how much I hated having Niagara Brewing Company beers on tap. I'm like, look, I know Dino owns the building that Niagara Casinos is in. Stop bowing down to that man and putting his below par beers on our taps. There is so much better you could do in Niagara than that shit. They found out after we did that tasting at Niagara Brewing Company that I wasn't supposed to be in Niagara Brewing Company. That I had been banned. So yeah. It was what it was. Dino doesn't like hearing truths. Dino likes hearing that he's amazing. That's not what he heard from me. Mr. Wagon, where in Saskatchewan are you? I forget because we go so long between interactions that I sometimes forget where you are located. We were she was probably from Dino's family. I'm pretty sure the only people that like Dino's beers are people that are either related to Dino or in some way are attached to his family. However, I remember the first time I took Lee to Taps, and he had Taps Light, and he's like, "This tastes like mushroom soup," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure this whole place is a fucking front for the mob." She just told you she wasn't. It was his mom. Their beer isn't the worst beer ever made. It isn't, but it's for the price and the hype and everything else. It's not good. And the price of food in their restaurant is insane. And I get it; they're right on Clifton Hill, but that man could do so much better with what he put into this. Yes, you have never been specific. A drive to Regina isn't hard. That that could be a lot of things, because I mean, in all honesty, even Prince Albert isn't that far from Regina in what us in Ontario know. Like to drive from Niagara to Ottawa to see my mom or dad took me 8.5 hours, and like 4 hours of that was going through Toronto. So a drive not being that hard is weird. I had a conversation with one of my coworkers yesterday, and they were talking about traffic, and I'm like, my wife actually said traffic was bad in Regina yesterday, and that was weird to me. And she's like, well, why was that weird? I go, because we're from Ontario. Traffic being bad is you are not moving at all. You are stuck in the same place, and it takes you like an hour to move a few hundred meters. That is bad traffic. That's going through Toronto at the wrong time. She's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. So she has never said anything about traffic being bad here. Usually when somebody says traffic is bad, she laughs at them. But what it was there was an accident, and everything was backed up. But we've been to Moose Jaw so far. Went to the Sukonen ship and the Museum of what is it? The Museum of Development in Moose Jaw. We want to see some sand dunes, so we'll have to make a time to do that. She wants to be able to check the KFC buffet off of her bucket list. She says she knows it's going to be disgusting, but she wants to go to Weyburn and do that. We've talked about there's some tours. There's like cave tours and stuff near us too. She wants to go do those. She wants to do, what is it? Conacher. I can't remember where those are, but she wants to do those. We want to see the twisted trees. We want to see the sand. Like we're trying to plan everything we want to do now that we're here, and we'll do a few every year. But Saskatchewan is an amazing place that I don't think enough people give it credit for. I actually was talking to another person I work with who was like, I hate it here. I want to leave. I go, where do you want to go? She's like, I want to move to Toronto. And I laughed at her, and I'm like, have fun. She's like, what? I go, first and foremost, have fun finding a place to live that isn't so what the fuck are those dogs doing? So insanely expensive that you can't live, and have fun trying to get anywhere. Have fun getting your health card. She's like, well, it takes so long to get your health card here. What are you talking about? We moved to the province February 10th. February 10th, we entered the province, I should say. We didn't get into our house until February 14th. I think it was March 6th we had our health cards in our hands. Like, that's not happening in Ontario. I'm glad you caught me live. Sorry that I'm blind as fuck and have to do this. Omicron. Is that you, Vincent? However, my wife did say, because she came to pick me up from work after that hailstorm. She goes, "Did you get a lot of hail here?" And she was working in White City at the time. And I'm like, "No." She goes, "White City had a lot of hail." Like, yeah, it wasn't that bad here. So I mean, it's oh yeah, neither of us like KFC. I think it's just one of the things where it's the only KFC buffet in Canada, and it's like, I guess we have to do it now that we live here. And I I think that's really what it comes down to. Again, neither of us care for that, but I still, my two dream homes. One was in La Flèche, Saskatchewan, and the other one was in Prudhomme, Saskatchewan. They were both up for sale, and they were both in my price range, and I really wanted both of them. And the main reason we didn't take either of them was there was no realistic jobs or anything, right? So we're like, we can't do it. But they were my two dream homes, and one of them was the school, the like 17 bedroom, 5 bathroom, gymnasium, auto mechanics shop, 2 acres of land for under 160 in La Flèche. I don't know who bought it. I'm really jealous of whoever bought it. And the other one was in Prudhomme that had like a garage with a nanny suite and everything else. And we're like, hey, we can get your mom and dad to come and stay and this and that. But again, there's really nothing in either of those places. And I think that's coming from somewhere other than Saskatchewan. I don't think a lot of people moving into Saskatchewan realize that the small towns aren't the small towns we're used to. Like, I grew up in a small town in Ontario. I grew up in Arnprior. My wife grew up in Arnprior and Bancroft and stuff like that. So she grew up in small towns in Ontario as well. A small town in Ontario still has everything for the most part that you would find in a city in Ontario, just a lot less of it. Small towns here, a lot of times do not. And I mean, she's like, yeah, you go to White City. Sure, White City's really close to Regina, but what is there? There's an IGA. That's what you have. You have an IGA. So I mean, it's one of those culture shocks coming from another province. Best pizza in Regina so far. Oh, I've been told all these places to try, and every one I've tried has been garbage. I was told the best pizza in Regina was Tryphon's, and then Tryphon's sold to it was a family owned thing, and then it sold to a bunch of different people, and they're like, it's still the best pizza if you get it from this location. So I got it from that location, and it was shit. Well, it wasn't shit, but it wasn't good. Here's something I've noticed. If you get a small family-owned pizza place here, your pizzas for a 9 or 10 inch, so a small, cost what a large or a medium would cost from one of the big guys. Like what I can get for $25 from, say, Domino's or Papa John's or something, and Domino's or Papa John's here in Regina will get me a small pizza at these places. Saint Lucia's pizza was really good, but again, it was like there's a meal for two and it's a pound of wings. It was a pound of wings, a small side salad, a small pizza, again 10 inch, small 3 topping 10 inch. Pound of wings, small 3 topping 10 inch, small salad, and a garlic bread. And it was $54. It was really good pizza, but it wasn't $54 really good pizza. When I could do that type of meal from Papa John's and get like 2 mediums or Domino's and get like 2 larges, and fuck, $54 at Pizza. I could be $54 at Little Caesars. I could have like 17 pizza. No, not really, but you know what I mean. So we haven't found really good pizza yet. I've heard Houston's is really good, but again, I don't know if I should take somebody's word for it anymore. TJ's Pizza I've heard is really good, but that's the same name as my brother-in-law. Do I want a pizza that he made? I wouldn't want a pizza he made. So we do like once a week we splurge and we eat out as a family, or if the kids aren't here or they're busy doing something, we go out on a date. So we try to go to things we've never had before. But yeah, the pizzas we've had have been fairly lackluster. I think we may have been a little spoiled living in Ontario, and then even more spoiled living in the Niagara region, which has so much Little Italy going on. Like, I loved Fabio's in St. Catharines. Such a great pizza. Don't know if they're still around, but loved their pizza. There were so many good pizza places and pizza bars, everything in Izzy's in Pelham made an amazing pizza. So, I mean, there's so many good pizzas in Ontario that I think I was just a little spoiled. So, I don't know. There's apparently a take and bake place on Park Street here, and it is owned by one of the pizza joints, but I don't know how it stands up. Now, I mean, I met a guy on Kijiji. Yeah, I met a guy on Kijiji who was looking for friends. And we've only hung out once. We went out to Multinational because it's close to both of us. We talk every once in a while. We text each other and stuff. But he told me a bunch of ethnic restaurants to try. And I might ask him about pizza because he seems to be up my alley for taste because the stuff he suggested have been really good. I don't think I found a lot of really good Indian places. There's an amazing Vietnamese place about a 45-second walk from my door. I'm really enjoying being back in a place that has a multicultural cuisine because I've had so little of that for so long. Excuse me. And I mean, nothing against the Inuit or anything, but like I said, we've hung out once. We talk every once in a while in text. He's doing okay. I'm doing okay. We just haven't been able. He works a freelance job, and his significant other works a regular job. And because of what I do, my shifts jump around. So it's just been hard to get things to work out for us to hang out again. But he's been doing pretty good from what I understand. Monsieur Wagon, maybe you know this. Who brews Co-op Gold? It's apparently brewed in Saskatoon. I know there's a Minhas facility in Saskatoon. I originally thought Great Western, but it doesn't taste great, which makes me think Minhas. I mean, it could still be a Great Western beer, but I don't know. So we're going to open up a Co-op Gold Pilsner. Holy fuck, dog. Oh, he must have one of those dino femurs. I just don't know which dog it is. I'm going to guess it's Otis. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to go with what I was talking about. Nothing against the Inuit or anything like that, but their ethnic cuisine is here's some raw fish, here's some raw beluga, here's some fermented walrus, here's no. I tried it. I tried it to be able to say I tried it, but no. Thing I miss from up there, the Northern Lights almost every night. How significantly quieter it could be and how significantly louder it could be. The fact that I was allowed to drive, because you don't need a license up there, so I could drive. Those are the type of things I miss, just some of the freedoms and stuff like that. Things I don't miss, the crime. Yeah, there's crime everywhere. There's crime down here too, but the crime up there is right in your face because the communities are so small. It's not like you're in a city of 250,000 people and something happens in a night and you have no idea about it. You're in a place with a couple hundred people to maybe 1,000. And even if it's 1,000, there's maybe 50 or 60 houses. So when something happens, you know it happens because it happened right around you. When somebody's driving the garbage truck drunk and runs over a lady and crushes her head, it happened right in front of you. Shit like that. I don't miss that at all. I don't miss working 100+ hours a week and getting paid for 37.5. I don't miss destroying my body for $49,000 a year. It's been what, 5 months since I've been there. I still hurt to get up. I still hurt. I will for the rest of my life. Doing everything by hand, unloading side-by-sides, ATVs, skidoos off of planes by hand, off of trucks by hand, off of boats by hand, moving 30,000 cases of pop in a day by hand. I've destroyed my body, and I don't miss that at all. And for the money they were paying me, there was no reason for it. For the money they make, there's no reason for it. And I don't miss any of that. I miss some of the people too. Like I made some good friends up there that were trying to better themselves and better their communities. And I miss those guys and gals. I also don't miss knowing every single person that commits suicide. Suicide is a big thing in the North, especially in the higher Arctic. I have about 8 people on my Facebook list right now that were workers for me that are all gone. And every once in a while, I look at their page and I think, what a waste. One of the girls, she was 18. She was an amazing girl. She had a bright future if she wanted it. And the shit that happens in the North took her life. Another guy was trying to get out of the North forever. He was trying to better his life, and his family kept holding him back. And we kept pushing while we were in Deer Lake for him to be transferred. He was promoted. He was a supervisor in our company. And we're like, this guy needs out. This is why he needs out. His family is beating him. His family is robbing him. His family's doing this. His family's doing that. He can't stand up to this. He's getting ready to kill himself. We need to get him out of there. He is a supervisor. Move him anywhere. If you don't want to move him to our store, that's fine, but move him somewhere else, please. Closer to civilization than where he's at, because he is so far north. He needs out. They didn't move him out. He's gone now. I don't miss that. I don't miss losing people left, right, and center. I don't miss seeing the things I saw. And yeah, I don't. I never will. prefer dark beer as well. Yes, it did. The reason I would always buy a Skidoo, and I would always buy either an ATV or a side by side. Usually, I started with an ATV. I paid off a couple grand of it, and then I would sell it for almost what I paid to buy it, if not sometimes a little more because I had a employee discount. The reason I started with an ATV was to learn the roads in each community I was in. And I would always go to a side by side so then I could take my family with me, because with the side by side, we could go out on the land and my wife and kids and all that could fit in, and we could just drive out and do whatever we wanted to do. And yeah, it gave me a sense of freedom I've never had. It gave me a sense of, well, again, like you said, freedom. I didn't have to ask my wife to take me everywhere. I didn't have to plan 3 or 4 hours in advance for some of the really long walks. I could just have the family. It was like I was a normal father instead of the blind father. And I still drove better than a lot of people that drove up there because nobody had a license and nobody knew rules of roads, and nobody, like, it was an interesting place to be. And there's a lot of things I don't miss. And there, like I said, that freedom, I miss that freedom. I miss getting sent up to the airport to pick up execs, them all getting into my 6-person side by side, me driving them all the way back to the store, and then my wife telling them I'm blind after they get in. It's due to the trauma and everything else. It's just a thing that happens all the time, and the trauma's there. You can't escape anything. Like with him, you can't get away. Where are you going to go? There's no other houses. It's so expensive to get anywhere. Where are you going?
And like dinner?
Yeah, I like dinner. It's just me chatting right now, so I have to keep turning the camera off when I go to eat. So I mean, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? You can't go anywhere. If you're at home being beat and raped every day by your family, you're not having a place to go. So what do you have left? It's a really, really sad thing, but a lot of things have to change in the North, and I don't see them changing anytime soon. And unfortunately, assaults and everything else is accepted because you don't charge your family for doing things. You don't charge your own people. You don't. Sorry?
You didn't get my printout?
There was nothing that's printed out. So I mean, it's a sad, sad thing, but it is what it is up there. Why am I outrageous?
Who?
Me. Apparently, I'm outrageous.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I was just told I'm so outrageous.
Can you sit here in your underwear?
No, they know I'm sitting here in my underwear. That's not the outrageous part. I have no idea. I haven't listened to a radio station in 6 years. Have you listened to the radio here?
No.
No, I have no idea what the radio is like here. No idea. Never listened to it. For the most part, if I'm in the car, Alicia has her phone plugged in and it's playing music off her phone. So yeah, I have no idea at all. Okay. Brian says hello to you.
Hello.
Maybe we had a campfire tonight.
Sure.
Did the boy come back? That's unfortunate. No.
He may or may not have gotten yelled at.
What did he do?
That's the usual. Dogs are begging and he's paying attention to them. And I'm like, stop paying attention. Like I always say. The dogs while you're eating. As usual.
Okay, so just the reg day. Okay.
And then I got a okay. And that earned him maybe a tap on the side of the head. So cut that shit out.
Go have a good walk.
I mean tap. I mean tap.
Chris says the radio stations out here are the number one hits of the past 400 years.
Interesting. Not really.
Let's eat some more of my beautiful homemade chicken Alfredo.
I'm gonna try printing that thing out again. Hopefully anything there. How's your co-op gold there?
Not great, not horrible. Did he come back within an hour and a half?
I didn't pay attention to when he left.
Neither did I. I just got the beep on my phone that there was a body in front of the door. Well, guys, what else should we talk about? Now that Brian's put us all in the dumps. No, he hasn't. Okay. She now can't say that I didn't like her dinner. I finished though. I didn't get in shape before getting with her and then get fat after getting with her because she was a bad cook. Holy shit, what are you printing out, woman? Holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck! Whew. That was a lot of paper. Okay. Page 1. I think page 2. Maybe not. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Okay. What the fuck is she done here? What? I don't know in what order this is supposed to go. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Okay, that should be here. That should be here. That should be there. That should be there. But where does this one go? This one has to go here. And then this one has to go here. There we go. We're good. We're good. She has her printout. Do you, Brian? Do you eat bananas for the shape and not the taste? No, I've never had anything from Seasider. Where is Seasider at? My divorce papers were just put in my mailbox, and they wrote that they delivered them to me because they sent them. One of her friends came to serve me, and I wasn't home because I was at a doctor's appointment getting my wisdom teeth pulled out. And her lawyer's like, well, you've been served. It's been signed. I go, that's great. What the fuck? I was never served. Oh, well, apparently it just took a very long time for her first one to get here, because now this is it coming again. Anyway, I'm like, yeah, I was never served. And they go, well, it was signed that you were served at this time. I go, that's great. At that time, I was sitting at this dentist, as per this bill, what the fuck? Getting my teeth pulled. Can you stop? It's the exact same shit. What are you doing? Oh my God. Hey, that's okay. Good day, Scum TV. How are you? How are you? But yeah, so they lied in court. They lied under oath in court that they personally served my papers like they were supposed to me at my house while I wasn't at my house. And it just so happened that I went out the front door to walk my dogs, and I saw this giant envelope sitting in my mailbox, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I pulled it out and looked at it, and it was my divorce papers. Did it print? Yeah, it fucking printed. But yeah, so yeah. Apparently I was sitting in a, what the fuck do you want? I thought you were going for a walk. No, you didn't only print once. You printed 3 times. Anyway, so yeah, apparently I was at my house and at the dentist at the same time. And I told my lawyer, I'm like, look, I even have proof I wasn't home. Like, this is the time she signed. She signed 10 minutes into my 2-hour appointment. Here's even the paperwork of me leaving. She lied under oath. And he's like, oh, there's nothing we can do. What do you mean there's nothing we can do? We have proof that she never served me. This whole shit is fucked. But whatever. And that could have gotten the other parent in a lot of trouble, because you're never supposed to involve your children at all. And it's actually something they tell you over and over and over again in court, that your children should never be involved in that. apparently my ex has never remembered that. Now, when we were going after custody of all three of them, when we found out some of the stuff that had been happening in that household before we moved to the Arctic, my wife is the one that served my ex-wife. And it was her favorite thing in the world to do because she knocked on the door. My ex-wife opened the door looking disheveled and everything else because she's who she is. I'm nothing disparaging in case somebody hears this, because somebody's always watching what I do and say and tells her. But so she opened the door. Alicia handed it to her, said, "You've been served. Everything you need's in there." And she kind of just looked at her. Then she waved at her, turned around, and walked back to the van, and we drove away. Back to the courthouse to put in the paperwork that we served her. Have you ever had any of the Nokomis beers that are in bottles? I was at the Sobeys liquor store yesterday because I just went in to look. I go in to look. I go in to test whether or not I can not buy something. So I went in to look, and I left without paying for anything. I left without buying anything. But they had all these Nokomis beers in bottles, and they were insanely priced. They were like $10 a bottle, and they were only like maybe 500 milliliter bottles. $10. It was like a Berliner Weiss and some type of lager and shit. And I'm like, who in the right mind is paying $10 for this shit? And then I remembered I'm in Saskatchewan, not Ontario, and I was like, oh yeah. My daughter has wanted to do videos and stuff. My daughter is not allowed to talk to me. Last year, she asked to move in with us, and we brought that up because she's getting to the age where she's allowed to tell a court where she wants to be. And things were said to her by her family, and then she stopped talking to us. When she left this visit, she's like, "I promise you, Dad, I'm going to message you every day because I love you and I miss you and I want to live with you." And she left and went home. She texted me before she got on the plane. She texted me when she got off the plane. She texted me when she got home. She texted me the next morning. And that was the last text message I've gotten from her. She doesn't even read my messages anymore. So she's back to being told how horrible of a person I am and everything else. This is the first time it's happened so quickly. Usually it's a couple weeks in before her mother has her disliking me again and not talking to me. But this time it was 24 hours. I get told all the time by people, like, don't worry about it. They'll get older. They'll realize the truth and this and that. I'm like, that's not guaranteed, guys. It took me into my 20s to realize the truth about my family upbringing and start talking to my dad. And even then, because it took me to my 20s, I talk to my dad maybe once a year. The main reason I didn't want children was because I didn't want them to grow up the same way I grew up. I wanted to not do that. And then I had children with a person I knew I shouldn't have been married to in the first place, but I was married to her and we had children. Some of the children were treachery children, shall we say. And that I was told that the other person, maybe my ex-wife, maybe not, was on birth control and they weren't taking birth control. I have a fault in it too for still not wrapping my willy, but I was guaranteed they were on birth control. And I was paying for said birth control, so I figured it was happening, and it wasn't. So I didn't want them to grow up the same way I did, and then I self-fulfilled that prophecy, and they're growing up the way I did. And that pisses me off something fierce because, again, I didn't want to do that to another person, another human being. I'm mad about that. And then I'm mad about the fact that we poison the children's mind about things. There was some things said when they were all here by all of them that I should have right then and there called CAS. And I didn't because they never were going to find anything, and it was just going to look bad on me. And the next time we went to court, it would be taken out on me. And it's what happens. I get taken to court, and every single thing I've said or done from the last court date to this court date are talked about because it's smoke screening so that people don't realize what's going on until it's too late. Every lawyer that's ever represented the person I'm against backs away and backs down the very last day once things get pushed into their face, once all the evidence is out, because there's a smoke screen of false accusations and everything all the time. And then when we finally get rid of them all, it's too late for me to do anything because I'm out of money. I'm out of this. He's been living with me since 2021. Since 2021, he's been living with me. I just had full custody of him written over in the end of 2023. It was supposed to be, if he stayed with me past the summer, she was just going to write custody over with me. She ended up dragging it out for 2 years and $15,000. And by the end of it, her lawyer realized what was going on as well and tried to back away, but it was too late. I'm like, I just want to go to trial and I want my legal fees paid. And they're like, well, why? We have everything right here. We can just sign it over. Because she's made this drag on for 2 years and $15,000 of my money. I want it to go to trial and I want my legal fees paid. What I was asking for was custody of him. What I'm getting is custody of him. If this goes to trial, I win. She pays my legal fees. Well, no, we shouldn't do that because, your other kids. At this point, I don't care because she's gotten away with this 4 times now. This is the game that's played every single time, and not one of you motherfuckers will listen to me. And like her lawyer was like, well, we should give her some, because we were talking about the arrangement. This is when the conversation about the access parent paying for the visit came up. They're like, well, it's the access parent's job to get the kids. I go, okay, that's great. I have the kids. She's the access parent. She can come and get them because this is for her visit with Aiden. Well, we should give her. She drove the kids to Niagara all the time, so we should give her some props for that. I go, yeah, she drove the kids to Niagara all the time because she left without court okay and moved to London, Ontario, which wasn't in Niagara, leaving her blind ex-husband here without ability to get the kids, and she was paid gas money to and from London to Niagara every single time. Oh, we didn't know that. Yeah, of course you didn't know that because you don't fucking ask. You just listen to whatever fucking bullshit's told to you. So it's that stuff. It's every single time. There's so much fucking smoke screening so that nobody knows what's going on until the very end. And I'm pissed off that the kids are used as pawns. What was the last movie I enjoyed? I actually watched Land of Bad last night, and I liked it. I didn't think I was going to. Why did I get a Facebook notification for something that's already on my phone? Yeah, Land of Bad. Last movie I watched that I enjoyed. And I think I enjoyed it because it was Kurt Russell. I mean, who doesn't? No, sorry, Russell Crowe. Who doesn't like Russell Crowe, right? Like, who doesn't like Russell Crowe? I like Russell Crowe. And he's just an old man now. I mean, I didn't care about Hemsworth being in the movie. That was probably one of Hemsworth's best movies he's done, but I didn't care about him. Russell Crowe was the be all end all of that movie. And the sniper, he was amazing too. What was the last movie you saw that you enjoyed? The wife and I saw Longlegs in theater. And I must say, the older he gets, the better Nicolas Cage can do crazy. That he did amazing. Okay, fair enough. You know that I was always a big movie guy, always was. But yeah, those were the last two I really liked. What else have we watched recently? We've watched a few that I was like, why are we watching this? Like, this is stupid. Never saw The Machine. That's one I've never seen. Excuse me. Oh, fuck. It's only 7:16. Wow. What was The Machine about? What was The Machine like? I mean, my mom says my dad is a real sex machine. I know that machine. Oh, Kindergarten Cop. I don't know if I'm going to see it in theater, but I really do want to see it. I don't know if I'm going to see it in theater just because of how much a theater costs. The price just keeps going up, and it becomes harder and harder for me to feel okay paying that much money. Especially if you go in and you buy a drink and some popcorn. Like, you buy a drink and popcorn, and that movie is now like $180 movie by the time you're done. Especially if like two or more of you are there. But yes, I really do want to see the Deadpool Wolverine movie. I do. Sounds like it might be interesting there, Brian. Aiden wants to go see it, so we might. All depends on how he decides to behave. I don't even know when it comes out. The best part is, because the population is so much smaller here, I haven't gone into a theater yet and it's been packed. I really enjoy that. And the theaters here all have those big recliner seats and everything else. Harlow loves the recliner seats. I wanted to go see the new Twister, but Alicia did not, so we did not see it. That's when we saw Longlegs. I got my long legs on. It was an intriguing movie. Intriguing. It was different. It was, what I want for a horror movie is I want a good slasher. I want a good old-fashioned slasher to be back. I'm tired of these like psychological drama horrors. Give me a good old-fashioned slasher. That's what I want to see. That's what I want. I want it so bad. I love comedy horror as well. Like, comedy horror is probably my favorite genre. But I'm tired of the jump scare horrors, and I'm tired of the psychological drama horrors. Smile was both, and I mean, I didn't hate Smile, but I was like, what am I watching? And in the world of streaming, there's so many movies now that don't even ever go to theater, and they're theater quality movies, and you're just streaming them at home, like Land of Bad, and you're like, what is this? Why didn't this make it to theaters when this made it to theaters? And it's yeah. I'm not a big Stephen King fan. Sleepwalkers? That was the cat person one, wasn't it? Most of my favorite Stephen King adaptations were from way back when. He didn't write Maximum Overdrive, did he? I loved that movie. That was a great movie, and actually I've watched that so many times in my life now that it's not. Shawshank. Yeah, the Shawshank Redemption is really good. Sorry, I'm going to IMDb now. I used to have all my DVDs that I owned and everything on a DVD tracking list, much like Untapped. But I don't even remember the name of that page anymore, so I can't use it to go through my old stuff. Okay, yeah, Stephen King was the writer and director of Maximum Overdrive. I did love that movie. So that may be my favorite of all time. Yeah. And to see Yeardley Smith in something other than The Simpsons was pretty awesome. What's your favorite stuff to just watch right now? YouTube, anything like that? Again, we kind of talked about this last night. Like I watch Maven, I watch Stevie Richards, I watch Jim Cornette, I watch Drain Addict. I love Drain Addict. I get excited when a new video comes on. If James Rolfe has a new video, I watch the Angry Video Game Nerd stuff. I like watching Game Chasers. Videos of Nancy Cartwright screwing with people when she goes through a drive-through or something and does Bart Simpson's voice. Like watching that stuff. Excuse me. This can. I love this stuff. I've always loved that stuff. I really have. And I wish I could get it more. I wish it wasn't as expensive as it is here in Saskatchewan. I remember back when they were like 250 a can, and I would buy like 12 to 24 at a time. And I loved it. Hearing that they're like $3.25 a can right now, Still worthwhile to me. I would still buy a 12-pack of that for under $40. I would, because in Ontario, unlike here in Saskatchewan, your prices are inclusive except for the deposit, and can deposits are 5 cents. So if it's $3.25 a can, you're paying $3.30 a can. I would buy 12 of them, easy. Pay like $40 even almost. And then in Ontario, you're bringing your cans and bottles back to the beer store, and you only really do a deposit on beer and alcohol. So you're going back to the beer store anyway to buy more beer, most likely. So you collect your stuff and you bring it back. Here, I usually just put my stuff in my blue bin, or I put it out for the lower income people that collect it as their job, and I'll tell them, hey, leave my bucket, I'll fill my bucket up again. I had one guy that took my bucket. I had maybe 200 cans crushed in my bucket. And I'm like, and I have a note on it, leave my bucket, I'll fill it up again over the next week and a half for you. And he took my bucket, and then he came back a week and a half later, and he knocked on my door, and he's like, I took your cans last time, and it said you were going to fill the bucket up again and leave it out for me. And I go, did you take the bucket? He goes, yeah. I go, then how the fuck do I fill the fucking bucket again, motherfucker? I close the door on him. Like, what the fuck? I have no problem helping you out. Don't steal my fucking bucket. Leave my fucking bucket. Leave my bucket. I'll give you as much fucking cans as I have. And steal my fucking bucket. Fucking. If you can't tell, I get angry when you steal my bucket. Don't steal my bucket. Human body at my front door. Who's at my front door? Oh, it's my wife. Okay. It's so quiet. None of you are talking. There's apparently 6 of you. Talk. Let's chat. That's what this is for. Nobody's gonna watch this. Like, this is I could have been doing reviews tonight. Instead, Brian got me angry. Yeah. Almost time for me to retire the review camera and pull a new camera out. By camera, I mean phone. But this phone is almost dead. She is almost done. Battery only stays charged for like 24 hours now. Cracks all over it. It's not doing great. I don't know when my next cider review will be. I haven't seen a lot of ciders here in singles. I think I have one mead left from the whatever B meadery. Their District Brewing sells some ciders, but they sell them in 4-pack. That's the thing. I love this province, but I hate this province if you're trying to buy things for the videos, because everything has to be bought in 4-packs and 6-packs. And I want a single. I just want a single, just one. I don't care. Force me to buy 4 of something, but let me buy 4 separate entities into a 4-pack. Charge me single prices for each of them if they're all different prices. I don't give a shit. But let me pick out 4 different beers or 4 different ciders. There's like 7 different ciders at the district distributes. But I don't want to buy 28 ciders to try the 7 and realize that they're all going to fucking taste like condoms. Like they're all going to have that fucking rubber taste. Like the sulfites are killer in a cider. And I shouldn't say they're all going to taste like that because I've never had a cider here in Saskatchewan. They might actually not use sulfites as much as Ontario cideries do. But it's the reason I haven't really done it. Pick a national beer for us all to have. I'll have to go into the stores and actually look at what national brands I can get because I don't really pay attention to the national brands. I don't because I don't normally buy them. We could say, like, I don't know, do you guys get Bud Light Double Lime? I've never had Bud Light Double Lime, which means I have to buy a 12-pack of it, but I want to review it anyway. So if I have to buy a 12-pack of Bud Light Double Lime, then I have to buy a 12-pack of Bud Light Double Lime. You might be able to find a single can of it in Ontario, but the Sky, Multi, the Sky. Do you like it? Do I hear my wife up there? I didn't get a message that she came back to the house. Sulfites do suck. Jordan added to his story. I don't care about your story, Jordan. I'm trying to look at my security camera and see if my wife came back in somehow without me noticing. Hey, there's somebody parked behind us. What's going on? There's no one living in that house anymore. Probably looking at the house. Probably somebody that wants to buy the house. How much of that tree is left for me to burn? Oh, I can get that done in like 3 or 4 more fires. We're good. We're golden, everybody. We're golden. I'm just trying to find the perfect spot to leave my camera without it telling me somebody's walking down the sidewalk. My wife wants the camera to watch her car too. And I'm like, I can do that. But then every single person that walks down the sidewalk will set my camera off. And I don't want to deal with that. Flatlander is the one that is distributed here in Regina by District. And I can buy it off their Bruiser site, but I have to buy 4-packs. Excuse me. Here, let's go to District Brewing Company's thing right now. I love District because they make some good beer, but they also distribute other brewery stuff here in town. And it really makes me happy when a brewery will do something like that because not a lot of people will. Oh, they have some seltzers on there now. But again, you have to order a 4-pack. So they have District Brewing Company's Passion Fruit Lime Super Squeeze Fruited Seltzer. $14.99 for a 4-pack. I would try it, but I don't want to pay $14.99 for it and then not like it. Like, that's what it comes down to. Charge me $3.50 or whatever. $3.50 for a single or whatever, or $3.75 or whatever makes $3.75. Charge me $3.75 a can. I will buy one of every one of them, but I don't want to pay that times 4 to get them. And then they have Mango Lime Seltzer. They have a non-alcoholic IPA. They have... Stop fucking sending me to that page. I'm trying to look here. They have Rebellion Brewing Company's Peach Sour Smoothie. I have that one already. Prairie Bee. That was the meadery that I bought some stuff from. Back 40 Blonde. Nokomis Craft Ales Satori. One bottle for $12.50. That's the bad one. What else we got going on here? Mango sour. I already have that. Pickle vodka. I don't want any pickle vodka. Coconut lime vodka. Okay, maybe. Sexy peach liqueur. 9 Mile Legacy. Rafiki Moha West Coast IPA. The Ticket Blonde. Fuck off. Because I zoom in to read things because I'm blind, when I try to scroll back and forth, it sometimes moves me to the next screen, and it pisses me off. Here we go. Oh, this one is Crossmount Cider. Have you ever had Crossmount Cider, Wagon? Is Crossmount Cider any good? Because they have Crossmount Cider too. They have a kombucha. They have Prairie Bee Sparkling Bee. Prairie Bee Meadery Sparkling Bee. Okay. Spurling Silver Distillery Killia Coffee Liqueur. Spurling Silver French Laundry. What the fuck is French Laundry Liqueur? Apparently they've stopped carrying a lot of cider and a lot of beer, and it's a lot of hard liquor now. Crossmount Cider Company Rosé, $20 for 4. Crossmount Cider Flatlander Crisp, $20 for 4. So I guess Crosswind. Crossmount is Flatlander, maybe? Innocent Gun is staying within their lanes in that they have stepped back some of their weird, crazy stuff. They've, at least for North America, killed off the Melville's line, but they are still kind of experimenting. Also vodka. Yeah, I haven't had hard liquor in forever. I'll never have hard liquor again in my life, and that's okay. But yeah. I have to try and get through the beers I have in the cupboard to review. And then I have to go off of beer for a month. One of the reasons why I was thinking about doing the weight loss journey videos, because I have to get that test and see if it is just the alcohol or if there's something else going on with my liver. I'm sure it is just the alcohol, and I'm sure it is just that I drank 10 beers before a blood test because I'm a moron. But I do want to give it the full month to see if I can lower the numbers before I go in for the test. I probably have 2 weeks left of reviews, if that. And once I'm done that, I will go off of beer for the month that she wanted me off of beer. And then I will go in and see what my stuff is at. And if it was just the alcohol, then I'll have to figure something else out. I won't. I don't know how you're doing it, Brian, but I won't cut everything out. I will make better habits. I will be more responsible on what I do. But I'm not going to cut everything fun out of my life. I'm not. I'm not going to cut everything I enjoy out of my life so that I can live into my 90s and not be able to move anyway because I've destroyed my body. It's just what it is, right? Would I love to be able to live into my grandmother was in her 90s. My other grandmother might make it to that. Would it be nice? Sure. But is it something that I'm willing to give everything up for? No. I mean, my fucking grandmother they said the beer was the only thing keeping her alive when she died. So I'd love to be at that point. Give him the beer. It's what's keeping him alive. Santa needs beer. Like I'd love that. No, I wouldn't love that, but it is what it is. I guess if no one's talking to me, I'll go do something else. Don't know what I'll do. But it was great talking to everybody tonight. I was hoping again that somebody would show up for us all to converse with, because again, I don't know anybody in town. I need to have someone to interact with other than the people at work, and I don't have that. And this is my only chance. But I've burnt too many bridges in the beer world. I've burnt too many bridges by changing things in my life and by putting up boundaries and putting up walls. Apparently, you're not allowed to have boundaries, because if you have boundaries, you piss people off. So it is what it is. But hey, thank you, Chris. No worries, Brian. You guys are busy. There's like 15 other people that I send invites to. Like I said, I could send invites to other people. I could send invites to like Jeff and Bubba and all the guys that I don't talk to very often, but they wouldn't care to come on to this stuff anyway. So it is what it is. What the fuck is that? Okay, sorry, I just saw something in the camera. Yeah. It was great talking to y'all. Bye-bye. Oh, I hit stay. See, I don't want to go. Maybe it's because there was a UFC fight on tonight. Maybe that's why nobody wanted to come. Who knows? Anyway, goodbye. I apparently ended this the wrong way because I'm an idiot. Yeah, if you're ever in Regina, beer is fine. You know how many people met me through this shit? Go eat a Snickers upside down on your... No. Okay, I'm going to click the right button to exit this time. Love all of you. Bye-bye.